It's time again for yet another skill breakdown, and this time I'll be talking about Sudden Death Beam at Lucifer6397's request. Thank you for leaving a comment. Time to get down to business. Sudden Death Beam is a 1-bar Ki Blast super that you can purchase from the TP Metal Shop for 170 TP Metals. If it's not there when you first look, then you'll have to check back every Saturday when the TP Metal Shop cycles its items out. The description reads, a move that uses instant transmission. If you get attacked before you have a chance to move, you will slip behind your opponent and retaliate with a Ki Wave. Alright, let's dig into the specifics. If you use this move and your opponent doesn't connect a hit on you, you will simply perform an instant transmission and appear behind them. Things change quite significantly once you get hit by any type of attack, as all of a sudden, this move becomes a counter. This move is fast enough to act as a reactive counter rather than a predictive one, in most cases. Keep in mind, if you are trying to use this counter for anything other than basic attacks, you likely won't find much success unless you're fighting against someone who is either cocky or naive, or an AI. But the specifics of this move still stand. This move will act as a counter for anything, more or less. So let's dive into each category. The first and most obvious revolves around basic attacks. If you're hit by a basic attack while you're trying to teleport, you will not only teleport behind your opponents, you will let out a short-range Ki Blast attack. This includes basic and charged basic Ki Blasts. Not only that, but this includes a basic grab. And speaking of grabs, it'll also work for grab supers like Gigantic Rage. And on the topic of supers, it pretty much works against all super attacks, with some specific exceptions. When we're talking about strike supers, it'll work pretty consistently against most of them. However, if the attack allows for the user to propel themselves forward, such as with Meteor Crash, there is a good chance that you'll miss the blast, so keep that in mind. As far as Ki Blast supers are concerned, this skill will work just fine in any scenario where your opponent decides it's a good idea to try and throw it out there raw. Otherwise, if it's mid or end combo, then good luck. And that stands for any super attack. Then, when looking at ultimate attacks, the counter will still work, quote-unquote, but for the most part, when talking about Ki ultimates, sure, it can work, but against an opponent that knows what they're doing, it won't help you much. Sure, you can try it if they go for the ultimate raw, and if you're stamina broken, it can still work, but not if you're caught in a knockdown or you're otherwise staggered. And even if you work this out successfully, when it comes to the vast majority of Ki Blast ultimates, the odds are you'll only ping them for some stamina damage. The same idea applies to strike ultimates, but if they go for it raw, then you will be more likely to connect the blast than if they were to go for a Ki Blast ult. So the main thing to keep in mind is this attack works as a counter for all types of attacks. However, your best bet is against basic attacks. And for point of reference, I test all of these skills on a male Saiyan hybrid between strikes and Ki Blasts, with no Super Soul, so the damage seen in these videos can definitely be taken to greater heights. Now, there are quite literally hundreds of skills in this game, and I'm going to try and cover them all for you guys. And the odds of me knowing every detail for every skill might just be a little unlikely. So, if there is something that I missed, be sure to leave a comment to let everyone know. Also, this skill was tested on version 1.38 of the game, so if a future update happens to change anything about this skill, also be sure to let us know. It'd be much appreciated. But, with all that being said, I think that's about my cue to bounce. Certainly do hope you found what you were looking for in this video, and until we meet again, make sure you take care. See ya!